Fallout Season 2 just looked straight into the camera and said, by the way, the apocalypse wasn't an accident. And somehow, a lot of people missed it. Because while we were busy arguing about Deathclaw's vaults and whether Cooper Howard should have trusted anyone at all, Robert House casually revealed that he saw the end of the world coming, did the math, and decided, yeah, that tracks. This wasn't a flex, it was a confession. And if you thought this flashback was just Fallout doing lore cleanup or explaining a recast, congratulations. The show just outplayed you, because this scene isn't about the past. It's about who understood the future and why everyone else was already doomed.
The bombs will not be dropped by me or any of the idiots at that meeting.
This video breaks down the most important flashback in Fallout Season 2, Episode 5. The confrontation between Robert House and Cooper Howard. What looks like a lore-heavy exchange is actually a scene that quietly reframes the entire Fallout timeline. It reveals that the apocalypse wasn't chaos, wasn't sudden, and wasn't unforeseen. It was predicted, accepted, and planned around.
And what I do is I know everything.
This video explains why House is the true big bad of Season 2, how his worldview fundamentally clashes with Vault-Tec's, why Cooper refuses to believe him, and why this single conversation changes what Fallout is really about. Fallout Season 2, Episode 5 doesn't announce its importance with spectacle. Instead, it delivers something far more unsettling: certainty. In a quiet flashback set years before the bombs fall, Robert House demonstrates that the end of the world wasn't a failure of imagination. It was a failure of courage. Most viewers walked away thinking this scene was just clever fan service.
I doubt that.
A New Vegas callback, a recast explanation, some expanded lore. But that reading misses the point. Fallout isn't expanding its mythology here. It's narrowing it. It's telling you who actually understood the future, and why everyone else was doomed to misunderstand it. Robert House is not reacting to the apocalypse. He already accepted it. And that acceptance makes him the most dangerous character Fallout has ever put on screen. When Robert House appears publicly in the Fallout universe, he isn't real. He's a performance. A body double. A man paid to wear the face of power while the real power stays hidden. In the flashback, Cooper Howard learns that the Robert House he's seen on television, the polished face of Robco Industries, is just an actor. His purpose is simple: exist so the real House doesn't have to. If someone tries to assassinate Robert House, they'll kill the wrong man. On a meta level, this cleanly explains the recasting between Season 1 and Season 2, with Rafe Silver originally portraying House and Justin Theroux stepping into the role when House becomes central to the story. But narratively, it reveals something far more important. House understands that visibility is vulnerability. Power doesn't come from being seen. It comes from being misidentified. By turning himself into a symbol instead of a man, House removes himself from ordinary threats. You can't kill what you can't correctly identify. When Cooper is escorted past the familiar public-facing House and led into the command center where the real House sits surrounded by screens, the illusion collapses. This isn't a businessman chasing influence. This is a man insulating himself from the future. One of the most important revelations of Season 2 is that Cooper Howard didn't randomly stumble into House's orbit. Their connection predates the apocalypse, the ghoul, and even Cooper's disillusionment. Cooper is initially recruited to spy on his wife Barb after she attends a meeting involving House. That alone tells us something critical. House was already considered dangerous long before the bombs fell. Dangerous enough to warrant surveillance. Dangerous enough that Cooper, a public figure, is pulled into something far darker than Hollywood politics. But the mission doesn't stay at surveillance. It escalates. Intelligence turns into assassination. And by the time Cooper finally comes face to face with House in Episode 5, the confrontation feels inevitable rather than coincidental. House didn't just want information from Cooper. He wanted to measure him. Almost immediately after meeting Cooper, House reveals that he knows Cooper was sent to assassinate him. There's no tension in his voice. No fear. No reaction. This moment is chilling, because House doesn't attribute this knowledge to spies or leaks. He attributes it to mathematics. House claims that he uses sophisticated probability models to predict future events with enough precision to anticipate assassination attempts before they occur. Cooper's mission didn't surprise him because it already existed as a data point. This is where House separates himself from every other power player in Fallout. Vault-Tec reacts to events. Governments scramble when crises unfold. House anticipates outcomes before the first domino falls. In a universe defined by chaos and randomness, House represents something far more disturbing. Inevitability. Cooper is not a threat, because House has already accounted for him. One of the most chilling revelations in House's monologue is his connection to the Sino-American War. House reveals that he licensed software to the military that allowed him to see through soldiers, armor systems. That means that during Cooper's deployment in Alaska, House was effectively watching the war through Cooper's eyes. This reframes everything we know about Cooper's trauma. He wasn't just a soldier fighting for survival in the snow. He was an unwitting observer in House's grand experiment. When House references the demon in the snow, the Deathclaw that attacked Cooper, he doesn't describe it with fear. He describes it with interest. In Fallout lore, Deathclaws are not random monsters. They are the result of pre-war military experimentation tied to the Forced Evolutionary Virus. Controlled evolution stripped of ethical restraint, they represent humanity's willingness to redesign life for efficiency and dominance. So when House sees the Deathclaw as a sign of the future, he isn't being poetic. He is being analytical. He's recognizing the logical endpoint of unchecked experimentation. When House suggests this creature is connected to the future of the nation, and to Cooper's wife, the implication is terrifying. The apocalypse isn't a failure, it's an outcome. House's acquisition of cold fusion technology isn't about energy, it's about time. Cold fusion represents a world without scarcity, without decay, without urgency. For House, this technology isn't meant to save humanity, it's meant to preserve relevance. He openly admits his plan to transfer his consciousness into a robotic body, freeing himself from the limits of flesh and mortality. This isn't villainous in a theatrical sense. It's logical, and that logic is what makes it frightening. House doesn't fear death. He fears becoming obsolete. The nuclear war isn't something he wants to prevent. It's something he wants to survive. The most emotionally devastating moment in the scene comes when House reveals that he has calculated the exact date of the apocalypse, Cooper's daughter's birthday. This isn't coincidence or compassion. It's House's worldview laid bare. Emotional significance doesn't invalidate probability. Personal pain doesn't alter data. To House, this information is neutral. To Cooper, it's obscene. The precision strips hope from the equation. If the end is inevitable and personal, then what's the point of fighting it? Cooper's refusal to believe House isn't stupidity. It's survival. Cooper has already been betrayed by institutions that promise certainty. The military promised honor. Vault-Tec promised safety. Hollywood promised meaning. None of them delivered. So when House warns him about Vault-Tec, Cooper hears another powerful man asking him to trade trust for fear. House offers no proof beyond calculations, and believing him would require Cooper to accept something unbearable, that his wife may be complicit in the end of the world. House doesn't despise Vault-Tec because they're incompetent. He despises them because they're dishonest with themselves. Vault-Tec believes humanity can be controlled after the end, through experiments and isolation. House believes control only exists before the end, through prediction and preparation. Vault-Tec reacts to catastrophe. House anticipates it. Vault-Tec survives by lying to people. House survives by knowing the truth. That distinction defines their brand of evil. And this is where Robert House's brilliance becomes his weakness. House believes probability equals destiny. If something can be predicted, he assumes it cannot be meaningfully altered. Emotion becomes noise. Human choice becomes a rounding error. But Fallout has always punished characters who mistake foresight for wisdom. House survives the apocalypse because he understands systems. But understanding systems has never been the same thing as understanding people. He can predict collapse, but not reinvention. Robert House didn't cause the apocalypse. He did something far worse. He accepted it. Fallout's greatest tragedy isn't that the world ended, it's that the one man who truly understood it was coming chose survival over intervention. Cooper walks away from this meeting unconvinced, shaken, but human. House remains exactly where he is, prepared, correct, and alone. And Fallout leaves us with a brutal question. Is it better to be right or to try anyway?